All right, Cowboy Nation, really appreciate each and every last one of you all for jumping in. Let me ask you this, and this is just me throwing this out there as far as the defensive edge guys. We can argue with each other about the interior play, but let's get into the details of the edge guys, those guys. Randy Get Down Gregory, right? Oh, Bradlee Anae, we would love to see him out there. Oh, Dorance Armstrong. What would be his role? Oh, Tank. Can he step it up since he got his corn, his bag? What to look for out of that? Now, my thing is the 5,000-pound gorilla will be, okay, what you going to do with Jerry, Wine, Jones, favorite guy? Dorance Armstrong, will he be granted another opportunity, basically? Because we brought in the Basham kid, right? And he's supposed to be able to play on that edge and give us some pressure off of the edge there. And we can look at other things like, maybe in this draft, maybe too rich for a Kwity Paye, maybe too rich for the Jalen Phillips kid. Maybe that may be too rich because you probably have to go scoop those boys up in the first. But what about in the later rounds, right? Something about edge guys that if you don't get them early, they disappear quickly. Now, my thing is, in this particular draft, we can go back and forward to say, man, Gregory Rousseau, maybe he could be a guy, Joe Tyron, maybe he can be a person of interest, but there's so many red flags with these edge guys that we kind of probably overlooked them, right? Outside of Kwity Paye, who you guys want? The Arizi Ujulari kid, do you really want him on your team? Where would you go in the draft, and how will he be implemented on this particular team as an edge guy, right? The Janoris Robinson kid, would you really want him? The Ronnie Perkins. There's so many names that we can throw out there and see which way the Cowboys would probably roll with. Or would you say to yourself, all right, Cowboy Nation, let's bring in Carlos Basham, right? From Wake Forest, right? We got his kinfolks already on the team. So I believe in the hearts of hearts, Dorance Armstrong, although they have high love and adulations for him, he could be one of those guys that's on the chopping blocks if he don't step it up and be up. Hey, we know longitude and latitude works well with some guys, but with the level of production that Armstrong brought to the table, he was always that guy that's close but no cigar. Right. And when they brought in Rondell Carter, I was like, okay, wow. And Rondell can give you positional flex because he can play inside. Now, my thing is, you can't have enough defensive edge guys. So anybody sit here and say, well, we good, Law. We don't need to evaluate defensive edge guys, right? What was that kid from Penn State? Ran so fast, like a 4.3 something. Is it Jason Uwe or something like that? Would you say to yourself, although the kid, he may just be one of those underwear Olympics guys and he don't have a lot of stats there, would you say to yourself, all right, I think that he can bring a little bit more than what we got out of a Dorance Armstrong? And if, let's say, for example, if the Cowboys do decide to invest and spend some money on that side of the coin, and everybody know how this thing can rock, right? On one end, we sitting there saying, man, we just want Bradlee Anae to get a chance. And he reached out and said, big trust, right? To the nation. And well, of course, it was all love because when you think about it, we all was waiting to see him out there on the field. And he just never got the chance and opportunity. It could be the stupidity of the previous regime as it relates to that defensive side. But we got to sit back and wait now because we do know that Dan Quinn is one of those guys that's really is a technical teacher and sound mind as it relates to that front. The front seven should be good this year. But what we can't do is sit around and waiting for results from a guy who really didn't bring us nothing. And I'm not talking about Bradlee. I'm talking about Dorance Armstrong in this. So either the Cowboys, when they picked up Basham, maybe there was like a calling card for Dorance Armstrong to say, hey, bro, you got to step it up. Now, granted, last year when we was looking at majority of these games, I'm sitting here looking at Dorance Armstrong dropping back in coverages and things like that, and we were sitting there saying like, whoa, 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 whoa. What is going on with this particular defense? We want these guys to put their hand in the dirt and get and chase up to the quarterback and make him his baby, right? We didn't get a chance to see that. So to Dorance Armstrong defense, maybe, just maybe, this particular coaching staff can see something out of him and get him out there on the field. But I want to know in the comment box, who's all in favor to say, man, let's just move on from that. Like, look, we go get Joseph Asai or somebody like that to bring in and get more production. A rookie. Let's not wait around for this guy to turn the corner. Let's be proactive with it. Or in a pinch, let's just keep Bradlee Anae up in that thing and let's see what he can do. Let's continue to figure out ways to revamp this defense, because I'm with the belief that yes, this draft is kind of crazy because you really can't go off of everything that happened last year. It was a pandemic, and we can go back and forth about productions and these sorts. But the reality of it, even if you say to somebody, say, man, this guy was showing out on tape. Man, this guy brought everything in the kitchen sink, and mama, uncle, cousin, and Tupac and Biggie. Man, he had them along the way. But it could have been against one of those situations where the opposing team didn't have all of their staff together, right? Because they were trying to fight through some element as it relates to this pandemic. So now that everything's supposed to be cool, how can you really gauge a level of production, right? We can look at so many things as it relates to defensive edge guy. Do he play with leverage? Do he keep his pad levels low? Do he have strong hands? Is his base too wide? Do he play with a narrow base? You know, is it a situation whereas he's horrible against the run? Do he know how to set the edge? There's so many things that we can flat out look at. But through the course of the years, what did Dorance Armstrong do well? I know it's not dropping off in coverage. Close but no cigar guy, right? And I'm not even going to talk about Dorance Armstrong against the run, right? We're not going to go into that situation because when I looked at some of the film, it was like he was given a free access 99. Like, okay, we'll let you go through this pathway. So we're not going to go into details, and I'm not trying to sully or denigrate the brother. But what I'm saying is that the Cowboys got a long, long list of warts that they got to go through and comb through. Now, Randy Gregory, great guy in a passing situation, right? D-Law, great guy of setting the edge and making sure he can get upfield. Hey, he can turn those shoulders on the offensive lineman, and he can stay in his particular side of the field, and he can come down and he can make that tackle as it relates to against the run. And on one-on-ones, I've seen Dorance Armstrong look differently, right? And we have one-on-ones with D-Law. We're sitting there like, okay, he going to get to the quarterback. But my thing is, we don't want that drop-off of production to be so crazy, right? When D-Law and Randy Gregory get off. So how can we better our best? I want to see more of Bradlee Anae. I want them to really be aggressive in the mid-rounds to maybe bring in that edge guy to complement whoever we bring in as an interior defensive guy and let this thing rock and let this thing shake. I want to know how you guys feel. Real talk. Give me your top 5, your top 6 in order, if possible. Defensive edge guys, whether this is a 3-4 or 4-3, doesn't matter. I want to know if that guy can get his shoulders down, bend low, swoop around, and get to the quarterback. And of course, he got it. Cooler heads prevail, right? We don't want none of those crazy after the whistle type of guys and now it's a flag because of this and because of that. We want some dogs, of course, but we want some guys out there that can make an impact to this team. I know you watch tons of mock draft and you will not see edge guys. You will not see them. But I want to know who's your pet cat. I want to know who you guys really like on that edge because we got less than 30 days, baby. My name is Law Nation. I really appreciate you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Let's continue to grind and shine. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys. Let's go.